So, welcome to probably the first time that I am going to commentate on anything. I'm going to title this bit Three Things I See on YouTube Way Too Fucking Much. And basically, it's a commentary on, simply put, what I see too much of on YouTube lately. Particularly what I've seen too much of it on YouTube for about the past maybe 2.5 years, roughly. Um, and with that, I'll get started. No more bullshitting around. So, the first thing I've seen too much of on YouTube is criticisms of the screenwave era of the angry video game nerd. Now, this is probably an unpopular opinion of mine. I still watch Angry Video Game Nerd. I personally liked rental reviews when it first came out. I didn't necessarily have a problem with it, and then, not long after rental reviews stopped airing, you got all this shit and all this criticism of everybody and their dog making a YouTube video about how ABGN sucks now and how Screenwave ruined him and how blah 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 blah. And it's like, I do get the point of making maybe one video that criticizes ABGN, James Rolfe, for all this shit. But after that one video, you are beating a dead horse, and I'm here to say it's getting old. It's getting very, very fucking old. Especially now that we're like 2 years into this bullshit. And probably what it really boils down to, in my opinion, is probably these YouTube channels that keep making more and more content about this are really just milking something that has been talked about for a while for more viewership. That is pretty much what I think. I think they're trying to monetize videos, trying to piggyback on the success of ABGN, more importantly, and I think they're just ultimately jealous of what James Rolfe created for himself. Because, if I'm being honest, you look at the views of these channels that are criticizing the Angry Video Game Nerd, and they're not half, if a small fraction at that, of what an Angry Video Game Nerd episode, even a modern episode today, gets on YouTube. Like a modern episode supposedly gets like 1 million views in 3 days or something like that. Well, some of these channels criticizing him, they maybe have 40,000 views a video? 40,000 compared to your 1 million, not doing so hot. But like I said, my main point is that I think these people are just trying to make a buck on criticizing the Angry Video Game Nerd. And that is the first thing that I've seen way too much of on YouTube. Now, the second thing is stuff that is kind of similar to what I just said about Angry Video Game Nerd. It's things that are criticizing Disney. Content creators, channels, etc. that are saying Disney is in the shitter now. And again, I have to make the same point that I made with the Angry Video Game Nerd stuff that, one video is understandable. One video is perfectly understandable. They had like their failure that was Indiana Jones 5 or whatever, But I think there's something content creators fail to realize here. That is, if you're going to talk about a subject, there's likely thousands of other, if not tens to even hundreds of thousands of other channels out there that are going to talk about the same thing. So if you want to talk about, Disney parks were empty in July and Indiana Jones was failing and the stupid live action Snow White thing, keep in mind, just as someone who's primarily a viewer on YouTube, I really don't make content that often. I gotta say, it's turning me the fuck off to see all these videos trying to cover the same subject at the same fucking time. I mean, I get that's how YouTube has kind of been working for a while now, but it has gotten annoying. Same thing with Angry Video Game Nerd. These criticisms about Disney have gotten extremely fucking old, repetitive, beating a dead horse, etc. It's like, okay. Again, I'd understood one video. You got channels out there like WDW Pro or fucking that Clownfish TV guy or whatever. And I think in those channels' cases, it's like all they want to talk about. I've seen them the past like 2 months now. All they want to talk about is why Disney is failing and why Disney is in the shitter. And I just... It's getting old, motherfuckers. And I get there's the old adage of you don't have to watch their channels. Well, I'm here to tell you, I don't. It just so happens that because I watch something based on Disney, my fucking YouTube algorithm, when I log into my account, recommends their bullshit about why Disney is in the shitter now. And because I just so happen to accidentally click on one of those videos and see what kind of trash they're up to, now the algorithm's giving me every fucking video on their channel. And it's fucking annoying. Stop criticizing Disney, alright? I'm not saying this as like a Disney fanboy or anything. I'm just saying, make some new fucking content that is talking about a refreshing subject. Seriously. And with that, I can segue into the third thing that I've seen way too much of on YouTube, especially the past 2.5 years. And that is things about our economy here in the United States. Things about the economy that just... Every video, it seems like, that is made about the economy, every video any YouTuber wants to make when it comes to finance, economics, etc., with a few exceptions, are spelling just absolute doom and gloom for the economy. They try to structure these videos into some package with quote-unquote facts, that they seem to want to think that if they structure their argument this way, they're going to get you to believe that the economy is going to fucking fail. And I just, as someone who attempted, and frankly failed hard, I will say this much, as someone who attempted to join the whole meme stock thing, and yeah, failed hard. I lost a lot of money doing that shit. I can say this much, and it's not just meme stocks I got into. I got into a couple of other things, like I one point, I was trading shares of Ford Motors and stuff like that. It really does not look like our economy is headed into deep recession. There's all these YouTube channels that have been saying that for like 2 years now. And I will get that we had a slowdown. I will get that stocks pretty much like in November of 2021, pretty much through all of 2022, I get that stocks were hurting pretty bad. But here in 2023, although not every last stock has had this fortune, there are stocks that have rallied and continue to rally. And if you look up things like ETFs, index funds, mutual funds, etc., from what I understand, keep in mind I'm not an expert here, I'm not a financial advisor, but from what I understand, those three types of funds that I just listed, they're doing pretty good. Just for this year. They seem to be doing okay, and more importantly, there's been a very decent amount of job creation. Yeah, it's down, I guess, a little bit since the month of July this year. We're now at the end of August. I guess the August data suggests that maybe we had a few 100,000 less jobs created this month than last month, but that's not enough for me to say that the economy is going to fuck up, turn down, and go doom and gloom and all this other shit. And, I personally think when it comes to the economy, those channels that are trying to spell doom for it are just trying to make a buck out of fear. They're trying to make a buck out of installing fear into the common man who watches those videos. They're trying to... it's almost like we have a series of people claiming the world is going to end on YouTube here. It's almost like people are claiming that the entire planet is just going to blow up. And it's not. There's that meme about millennials, and it's, fun fact, I'm a millennial. It is, what's that meme? It's like that jaded, goth-dressed looking person who's like, yeah, I've lived through all this, I forget exactly how the meme's phrased, I've lived through all this shit in 3 supposed end of worlds, blah, 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 blah. Like, and I think that meme was popular as a response to the pandemic. But it genuinely feels that way when you watch all these videos about the economy. And the economy's going to crash. The economy's going to crash. We got new data, blah, 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 or this. Or there's people that want to claim that, because China's economy is crashing and their housing market is crashing, that our economy is going to do the same because it's China and it's contagious. Like crashing economies is a disease or something that can spread around. I got news for you. Crashing economies is not COVID. Okay? It's just not. And, I mean, granted, through watching some of these videos, I have discerned that, okay, there is the possibility that maybe we're going to see a drop in house prices. Maybe. for me personally, who doesn't have his own house, I would actually enjoy that. But, at the same time, I think there's been enough job creation. There's been enough stock rallies this year that if you look at raw, without bringing in a bunch of extraneous data from this state or that state or this country or whatever, that you look at things on the surface and yeah, things aren't bad. I know we had inflation that was pretty bad for a while. That's supposedly calmed down. I know a lot of people are struggling right now. I know it's not very easy to make ends meet if you aren't pretty much well off. But with that said, I don't think we're struggling or going to struggle as bad as some of these YouTube channels are saying. And believe me, there's a lot of those channels that I like I said earlier, I think were personally created to just feed on your fear and to feed on this idea that it's always going to be doom and gloom for the economy. And it's just, when you say it like that, it's just, well, sounds like a bunch of fucking horseshit, really. So, yeah, those are my 3 things that I've found way too much of on YouTube in the past couple of years. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, whatever. If you care, this is a very tiny YouTube channel, but if you care, hit the like button, subscribe, whatever. And what can I say other than I hope you guys enjoy this sort of first commentary video that I have made for this channel, because it's mostly me fucking around with my buds playing video games. So if you want to give that shit a look at, well, I've got some videos. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my little rant, and I will see you guys next time.